So.
Yeah, so under 1.5 degree warming, our simulations show that we can keep 100,000 glaciers at the end of the century. So that's more or less 50% of all the glaciers we have today. While if we would go to a 4 degree warming world, then we will only keep 18,000 glaciers. So that's a huge difference. It's 82,000 glaciers less under a 4 degree warming world. So I think this message should be very clear that the sooner we stabilize temperature levels, the more glaciers we keep, and so the less glaciers of these individual glaciers we lose. And that must be also a message of this paper, that we don't have to lose the hope to save glaciers. We can still, if we act as soon as possible, save many glaciers. Most studies focused on volume area, and that's most important for sea level rise, for example, and also for water resource, if you really want to know how much fresh water glaciers provide in dry periods. But these often overlooked the societal and cultural importance of glaciers. If you imagine one glacier in a remote valley in the Alps, it's not important for sea level rise. It's also not important as a water provider for large downstream areas, but it can be extremely important for the local tourism community. It can be a distinct feature of the landscape with a lot of legends and stories around it. For that specific valley, just this one small glacier can have a huge importance. And that's something we really wanted to stress on in this particular study, that it's not only about sea level rise contribution, not only about water resources, but also just this societal and this cultural value of every individual glacier.
What are the ice sheets doing at the moment? And what does that tell us about them? And as I say, they're losing 400 billion tons of ice per year.
So weit oben kannst du gar nicht fahren.
Nicht mit, dann beschleunigt das natürlich die Schmelze rundherum auch.
Ja.
When we drilled this stake in the last September, The ice surface was somewhere up here where my hand is.
Hay montaña, el Pirineo y el Mediterráneo. No, la otra vez. Otra vez.
And we expect that once it detaches from this central part, that we will see a very large-scale glacier retreat of several kilometers within the next years.
Dire, cioè, mappiamo da qua a dove riusciamo.
Ah no, vedi che te li dà, vedi che ti dà i punti blu, quelli che ti dicevo.
Ah, perfetto.
And what we have observed over the years is that the glacier is slowing down. And this is a sign that there is less input of mass to the glacier from snowfall.
Could you look inside? No, push. Nice. Still trying to.
But what can happen as the warming progresses, you will have very hot summers even up there. Well, very hot meaning above the melting point of ice, which means that water can percolate into the firn, that's the compacted snow that is on top of the firm ice, and therefore contaminate the climate signals.
Jelajahi cara baru mendapatkan informasi. Download MetroTV Extend sekarang.